Hi guys. So this time of year is always a big buzzworthy time for the news and for family dinners, and pretty much every time you have any kind of conversation, politics comes up because of the upcoming election. I'm sure there are some of you that don't plan to vote, don't want to vote, don't think your vote counts. But I'm here today to share with you why you should vote, why your vote does count, and why it's important to influence the people surrounding you to vote as well. Some of the benefits to getting out and voting, the main one and the most important one that I believe is just the simple fact of having your voice and opinion heard and documented. That's a big thing. And from that, you get the confidence of knowing that you voted so that your vote can help make a difference in the government and the way that the country is ran. When you go out and vote and your family and friends and coworkers all see you getting out and voting, you are setting a good example, and you're setting up the precedence that voting is important because you believe it's important. So now your children will think it's important. Your friends you may not be able to influence, but you'd be surprised at the word of mouth influence. Like if you have two friends and both of them are saying, "Oh, I'm not voting," of course they're going to not vote together. But if one friend says, "Oh, I'm voting, you should come with me," it's likely that that friend who had thought about not voting will go because their friend says they're going to. So even if it's just to set a good example for the people around you, you should vote. Every vote does matter. There have been several cases in U.S. history where the point that every vote matters has been proven. There was a New Hampshire Senate race once that was decided by 2 votes out of 223,000. That was in 1974. In 1839, there was a Massachusetts gubernatorial election that was decided by 2 votes. And in 2008, the Alaskan congressional race was decided by a single vote out of 10,000. So your one vote, you and your friends' 2 votes, can definitely make a difference. I know you hear a lot of people say, "Oh, I don't vote, it doesn't matter. My voice doesn't count. My one vote won't make a difference." You never know. Your vote very well could be the one that makes the difference. Another argument that I've heard a lot of this time around especially is that there's no need to vote because neither of the candidates do I like. Also not a problem. Write-in candidates are still a thing. You're still allowed to do it. People can still win from a write-in vote. So for those of you that were Bernie Sanders fans, you could still write him in. He could still win. You never know. So even if you just have to write someone in that's not on the ballot, you can still vote for who you want to vote for. That's the beauty of democracy. There are some drawbacks when you make the conscious decision not to vote. The main and most important one, you're giving up a basic right that you have to get out and vote that people have not always had. You, as you know, assuming 20, 30-year-olds, and even above, you have a right that some people had to fight for. Many people had to fight for. Women, minorities, younger people. It's something that has been provided for you, has been fought for you, and you should use that and appreciate it and fulfill your responsibility to use that voting power. Another drawback to not voting is even if you choose the wrong candidate, even if you choose the losing candidate, it's hard to complain about a government that you have the opportunity to possibly change and choose not to. So when you decide not to vote, you're essentially throwing in the towel and saying whatever happens, happens, and then you can't complain about anything that's happening. The everyday things that will affect you, like gas prices, healthcare, lack of being forced to buy it. There are many things that, grocery prices. There are many things that affect you in a day-to-day basis that you may not think about, that you complain about. But if you're not willing to vote, you're not willing to be a part of the solution. So you can't really complain about the problem. So to wrap this up, I would like to ask all of you this November to get out and vote. And there are even ways that make it so incredibly easy for you, not easy, but convenient for you to be able to vote. Most polls in Virginia open as early as 6 a.m. and close as late as 8 p.m. So if you have to work early, you have to work late, you can still make it there. If you have kids, your kids can go with you. They have kids voting. Your kids can even vote. You can instill in them early how important voting is. And if you absolutely can't make it in to vote, you can still write in a vote as long as you meet, within the time frame. But that's still an option. So there's really no reason that you can't vote and don't vote. So this November, I hope that all of you get out and vote. Take your friends, take your family, take your kids. Please get out and let your voices be heard and make a difference. Let's make this election count.